Take a trip back to World War II and see Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes fight the good fight once more in the pages of Captain America Annual Issue number 1. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? Alrighty then, everyone. So this is a special Captain America one-shot that goes back to Steve's time during World War II, leaving behind the more complex and layered events of what's going on today in the main storyline, only that's just the case, isn't it? War is never easy, and Captain America's life is always complex. You see, while on maneuvers, Captain America and Bucky come up against a bunch of Nazi soldiers. They defeat them very easily, but Bucky ends up spotting a woman in the tree line. He thinks that she might be a spy, and as such he ends up giving chase. Steve realizes that she's quite emaciated, and eventually she leads them back to a farmhouse where a bunch of people who escaped Nazi death camps have been hiding out. And as we discover through the course of the comic, they're not all Jewish either. One is a Soviet, one is gay, and the other one is a Romani. Cap is impressed at these regular people's ability to escape and survive under such unsurmountable odds. After all, he has a super soldier serum in him, and it's still hard for him sometimes. The good guys are pinned down on all sides by Nazi fire. It seems that the Waffen SS wanted to take today as an opportunity to train their new snipers. The plan is to stay put until nightfall and hope that they can escape out the back before the bad guys end up rushing them. This kind of bottle episode setup lets our heroes and these regular folks swap stories and talk about their hopes and dreams for when the war is over. And hey, here's some interesting little factoids for you. Tini Howard, the woman who wrote this book, well, she's of Romani descent herself, and so is the wife of the artist of this book. Why, one of the women in the story who we find out was actually experimented on in the death camps by Nazi doctors is the actual real name of Howard's ancestor. Now, the good guy's plan would have gone out without a hitch, except for the fact that the dude ends up going to the latrine in the night and gets shot by a sniper bullet. He comes down with a case of the woe is me's that he'd rather die here than have to go back to Germany if he's even welcome anywhere in the world. Luckily, Captain America is able to inspire him and get him back on track, mainly just by being Captain America, who's so damn inspiring, don't you know? This injury sadly means our hero's escape is going to be that much slower now that they have to carry a wounded man along with them. Steve and Bucky hope if they can reach a nearby radio tower, they can signal the Allies to come and pick them up. Unfortunately, there's a whole row of very angry Germans between them and their goal. Now, luckily, beating up Nazis on the ground is something Captain America is basically the best in the world at. Things get a little bit more difficult, though, when they're trapped on top of the tower when the tanks come rolling in. It would seem that word of Captain America's activities have actually reached the ear of the Death Camp commander, who has come out hoping to make a name for himself by killing the American icon. Captain America is a hero, and as such he isn't worried about himself. He's worried about his soft and squishy compatriots who he's been trying to lead to freedom. He tells them that they're gonna have to jump in the water below, and thankfully the story up until now has all been about learning to overcome your fear, and how they basically already risked everything escaping the first time, so why not try risking it all again to escape for real. Dum Dum Dugan picks up the POWs, but Cap and Bucky decide to stay behind. There's still a battle to be won and plenty of Nazis that still need to be punched as the comic ends. So that was Captain America Annual Issue number 1, everybody, and overall I thought it was a fun little story. It helped out a lot by the writer's own personal connection to the material. Have we seen lots of Captain America flashback stories like this before? Oh yeah, almost certainly, but it reinforces what is so good about Steve as a character. It's not just about winning wars and winning battles, it's about winning hearts and minds and saving people along the way. Overall, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was enjoyable, and I'm interested to see what else Howard will do in the future.
Hey there, everyone. Cape Joel again. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not take a look at some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're feeling in a charitable mood, why not check out my Patreon page? Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. So, until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I will be continuing